Ever found yourself just not giving something your all? Maybe you've got an important exam coming up, but instead of studying, you're here, mindlessly scrolling through YouTube, watching cat memes, hydraulic presses crushing random objects, and for some reason, that guy singing PPAP for the 1000th time. Sound familiar? Well, if you fancy procrastinating a little longer, let me explain to you the psychology of what you're doing. Because what if I told you this isn't just procrastination? You're not being lazy, you're subconsciously protecting yourself from failure. This is a psychological phenomenon called self-handicapping, and you're probably doing it without realizing. Self-handicapping is when we deliberately put obstacles in the way of our success, such as procrastinating or not preparing, so that if we fail, we already have a built-in excuse. Self-handicapping is a way of protecting our self-esteem, because if you fail, it's not that you weren't good enough, it's just that you didn't really try. And of course, if you had tried, you definitely would have aced that exam, right?
Person, woman, man, camera, TV. They said nobody gets it in order. It's actually not that easy, but for me it was easy.
Interestingly, studies show we're more likely to self-handicap in areas most important to our self-worth. For instance, for students whose self-worth is tied to their academic success, when faced with a difficult test, they spend less time practicing and also select more suboptimal conditions to prepare for the testing, for example by selecting more distracting music to listen to. So weirdly, the more we care about success, the more we might sabotage ourselves. And as such, self-handicapping demonstrates that our need to believe we are great and competent trumps our actual need to be competent.
Person, woman, man, camera, TV.
For example, I'm sure that if I'd applied myself in school, I'd be a world-class businessman or maybe even Prime Minister by now. And if I hadn't spent my youth drinking and smoking, I'd also probably be a legendary footballer instead of making YouTube videos of questionable quality. Self-handicapping usually shows up in two ways. One is procrastination and lack of effort. Not studying, delaying work, or half-assing things so we can say, it's okay, I wasn't really trying. The other is creating external barriers to our success. Poor preparation conditions, sleep deprivation, being hungover, or even perhaps controversially exaggerating illness and anxiety to justify our underperformance. And here's the twist. Self-handicapping isn't just about avoiding the sting of failure. Some researchers also argue it's a way to boost our self-esteem. Because sometimes, despite these obstacles, we still succeed. And when that happens, we feel even better about ourselves. We get to showcase our superior qualities and say, hey, look at me, I aced that test despite being half drunk and running on 2 hours of sleep. Clearly, I'm a genius.
Person, woman, man, camera, TV.
So how do we actually stop this self-sabotage? Well, one thing is to be aware of your behavior. Self-handicapping only works when we're unaware of what we're doing. So ask yourself whether you are doing things that are setting yourself up to fail on purpose. Awareness is half the battle. Another way is to reframe failure. We self-handicap because failure hurts. But if we see failure as part of the learning process, just as a step towards long-term success, it becomes less scary. Finally, in line with ideas of self-affirmation theory, if we can affirm parts of our sense of self in other areas and say that we have many other great attributes such as our friendships, our athletic ability, or our killer sense of humor, then this reduces the experience of other threatening situations. And so one setback in a different area doesn't feel so much like the end of the world. Ultimately, self-handicapping feels like it's protecting you, but it's really just holding you back. The sooner you stop making excuses, the sooner you'll start making real progress. What things do you hold yourself back in because of fear? What other sorts of behaviours do you think people do that demonstrate this tendency to self-handicap? Did you perhaps even engage in self-handicapping by watching this video? Perhaps you should self-handicap some more by commenting down below and subscribing to the channel and checking out our other videos.